They're feeling pretty good after a tough weekend here against the Bombers.
Well, they should feel pretty good, especially about last night's game, because the kids who are such a big part of the rebuilding and restructuring of this ball club just about all came through, most notably Jason Phillips.
Well, Jason's just been steadiest player there is. He's hitting .319 for the season. Had to play out of position at first base. Here he is last night, went 3 for 4. It's a line drive up the middle. Then followed with a double down the line, an RBI double. Got the Mets on the board there. And this play in the field, look at this play against Milwaukee at home. That's a play that is just a kind of an improvised play. Good baseball instincts. He's just done everything the Mets have wanted to do, and he's playing out of position doing it.
And he's having fun doing it as well. Take a look at what he's done over the last 14 games. What's pretty impressive about that is that now the pitchers have seen him a little bit, and this is just about adjustment time for him, and so far he's adjusting very well. Now, there's a hitter in the Montreal lineup who hasn't had to adjust much lately because he is clearly established as one of the better hitters in the National League, and we saw that again last night, Jose Vidro.
Yeah, he made it look easy again last night, and here's a blow early in the ball game. He also hit one late in the ball game. He's got 10 home runs this year, 41 RBI, switch hitting second baseman, makes no more than 11 errors a year. He's an outstanding player, and nobody really knows about him except Armando Benitez, who he owns. But Vidro is a star, but he's playing in Montreal. Look at those numbers.
Coming in the cleanup spot in the absence of Vladimir Guerrero. So game 3 of the 3-game series, Jae-Young So against Livan Hernandez as far as the pitchers go. And lately the catching's been in real good hands. Vance Wilson has had a lot of work, and he'll talk about it next.
Mets fans, on Saturday, July 12th, watch the Mets with the Phillies and receive a wiffle ball and bat courtesy of Fox Sports Net. Be one of the first 12,000 kids 12 and under at Shea for the 1:20 p.m. game, and you'll soon be swinging for the fences. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or check out Mets.com. Wiffle Ball and Bat Day, July 12th. We'll see you at Shea.
As the sun sets, time to bring the boats into the dock, settle down for some baseball right here on the MSG Network. It's the Mets and Expos in the final game of this 3-game series. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Matt Loughlin. It's a night off for Vance Wilson, as Jason Phillips will be behind the dish. He usually is when Jae-Young So is on the hill. But it's a rare night off for Wilson, who has started 32 of 41 games since Mike Piazza went down with the injury back on May 16th. And that ties Wilson for 3rd most among NL catchers. Wilson's happy to be an everyday catcher, but it comes with a major but.
Yeah, it's bittersweet in 2 things. The fact that, Mike did go down, and you never want to get your chance with someone getting hurt, but that's the way the game is. And the other thing is yeah, you get to play every day, you're getting your opportunity, but obviously we're not playing real well. And that's been tough, especially with my mentality. I want to win, and so it's one of those things, it's kind of bittersweet. You're always excited to establish yourself, but on the same sense, the way you got there and the fact that the team's not playing so well, it's tough.
Just sit right back and you'll hear the tale from Howie, Fran, and Keith. The opening pitch is next as the brooms are ready.
Jae-Young So hits the outside corner to Endy Chavez to get us going here at Shea in the final game of this 3-game series. Mets have taken the first 2, and Chavez, as so many hitters do against So, hits the ball in the air, a foul ball. It's 0-2. Jae-Young So, a decidedly fly ball pitcher, yet he doesn't give up a whole lot of home runs. So he's been good at keeping the ball in the yard, and that's the traditional bow to the umpire when the ump gives him a new baseball. Playing to his background, and of course there's a large Korean population right here in Flushing, not only here at Shea Stadium, but downtown Flushing, with a lot of Korean Americans. And Jae So flips to first. Chavez, speedy customer, kept off base, 1 man away. Here's the rest of the Montreal Expos batting order put together by Frank Robinson, Cabrera, Wilkerson, Vidro hitting cleanup. He had the 2 home runs last night. Ron Callaway's had a good series. He's in right field. Then Will Cordero, Edwards Guzman, Brian Schneider, and Livan Hernandez against Jae-Young So, making his 15th start. It's his 16th appearance. Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop, slumping lately, just 2 out of his last 21. And he pops it up. That'll reach the seats.
Well, So leads the National League rookie pitchers in innings pitched. He's 5th in earned run average, tied for 5th in wins, excuse me, tied for 2nd in games started. So he's making a name for himself here, or making a niche amongst the National League rookie pitchers.
The 0-1 on the way to Cabrera, and that's fouled away. Let's look at the Mets defense, Keith.
Well, the Met defense today, we have a couple changes in the field with Tony Clark, who was the hero last night at first base, and Jason Phillips will spell the rested Vance Wilson. He'll be behind the plate. Wigginton, Sanchez, Bell, rest of the infield, Burnitz, Perez, and Floyd in the outfield.
Fastball is high to Cabrera. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Orlando Cabrera's played in every game the Expos have played. That's Brad Wilkerson on deck. This is game number 84 for Montreal. They lost the last 2, and Vance Wilson getting a rare night off. Cabrera protecting away. It's still 1-2. Tonight's game is available in SAP. Your announcers, Juan Alicea and Billy Baroa. Juan on the left, Billy on the right.
Well, this is So's 2nd start since missing a couple starts with that fingernail problem.
Ray Sanchez at shortstop tonight, throws out Cabrera, 2 men away.
Jose Reyes out of the lineup today, a tender hamstring.
Yeah, he said he felt it after his 3rd at bat last night. Art Howe had him stay in the game, and of course he wound up driving in 2 with a base hit in the 7th, but he felt it running out a ground ball to short in the 5th inning. So Art's just being cautious because tomorrow the Mets have a day off. They'll travel to Cincinnati, and Art expects Reyes to be in the lineup Friday night when the Mets play their first game at Great American Ballpark.
Well, here it is last night. This is where Reyes said he felt it here in that ground ball. He hit hard at second base. He kind of pulled up there and felt a little tweak, I guess you'd want to call it. So the Mets playing it safe, and I think you're going to see more of this if Reyes stays healthy, and you got to be concerned. He's had quadricep problems in the past. But Bell at second base now. There's going to be multiple second basemen, musical chairs.
1-2 to Brad Wilkerson. Yesterday, Mets interim general manager Jim Duquette said that they'll simply piece it together. Joe McEwing's one of the pieces of that puzzle. Sanchez slides over tonight to play shortstop with Jay Bell in the game. On the inside corner, Jae-Young So strikes out Brad Wilkerson. Good start for So. Much appreciated by his countrymen here at Shea. Livan Hernandez set to make his 17th start of the season. Here is the Met batting order presented by Art Howe. Perez, Bell, Burnitz. Floyd, the former Expos, hit well here at Shea. Wigginton, Phillips behind the plate tonight. He's pretty much been the personal catcher to Jae-Young So. And then Clark, Sanchez, and So.
And on the hill, Livan Hernandez, the Cuban-born pitcher. 1997 World Series, the most valuable player.
Timo Perez 1 for 4 in last night's game. One thing you'll notice about Hernandez on balls hit anywhere near him, he's an excellent fielder. That one chopped over his head, but right at Cabrera, and quickly 1 man away.
Well, the defense for Montreal will set up like this. Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Cordero at first, Vidro the 2 home runs last night at second. Cabrera.
Burnitz, he walks Floyd. Frank Robinson, who was not in a real good mood last night, can't be feeling a whole lot better about things now. Frank was very, very critical of his starting pitcher last night, Sonny Kim.
Rightly so.
He practically refused to throw a strike. Floyd is running. Pitch taken for a ball. Schneider's throw ends up in center field. And Floyd's going to try for third. He's in there. So bad Achilles, bad knee and all. Floyd in motion. And he winds up on third base. Obviously a stolen base and an error.
Well, this is called sneaking a base. This is a good throw. A little bit inside the line. Looked like Vidro wanted nothing to do with the sliding Floyd. That ball should not have got into center field. A little bit of a how do you do right there. And here it is where you can see right now. You can watch Vidro coming in. You can see the throws tailing. Get over there and get it. He didn't want no part of Floyd. Ole.
Well, it goes as a stolen base for Cliff and an error against Brian Schneider. 1-1 to Wigginton. So for Cliff Floyd, his first stolen base as a New York Met. So now he's 90 feet away. 1-1 to Wigginton. To the shortstop Cabrera. And the Mets settle for one in the first. 2-out home run by Jeromy Burnitz, his 15th of the year. And as we head to the second, just like that, it's 1-0 New York. Jose Vidro takes outside from Jae-Ung So to start the second inning. Vidro had a huge night last night. 3 out of 4 with 2 home runs, including the one that tied the game against Armando Benitez.
He almost had 3 home runs last night. He came within a foot of hitting a home run over the left field fence. That was in the 4th inning. His second at bat was a double. 3 RBIs on the night and 3 runs scored.
2-1.
But he made in the bottom of the 9th. He made the it was ruled a fielder's choice. It should have been an error to Vidro to end the inning, and then Clark, of course, came up with a double to win the game.
2-2 now to Vidro, who's hitting cleanup, but that doesn't exactly put him in exclusive company. They've already had 5 players who have played at least 10 games in the cleanup spot. Obviously, Vladimir Guerrero would have quite a few had he not been hurt.
Well, here's the play last night. There was a questionable ruling off the bat of Jose Reyes, and you can see he backs up, and that's a bobble. And because of that bobble and the hustle and the viewing, it's a bobble. It should have been an error. It was ruled a fielder's choice. Therefore, Magnon gets an earned run charge to him.
I totally agree with you. Vidro and the hop to Bell, 1 man away, 4 in a row for Jae-Ung So. New York Mets baseball is brought to you in part by Nissan and your Nissan dealer, by Panasonic, ideas for life, and by Ford. Visit your tri-state quality Ford store with the best-selling vehicles in America. So 1 out, nobody on for Ron Callaway. He had a home run last night and leads all rookies in the National League in home runs with 8. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
Well, here's his home run last night. Got a fastball out over the plate and down off of Eric Heilman. And he's been doing a wonderful job. He's basically been called up here to take the place of Guerrero, who's on the disabled list. That was a solo shot in the 7th last night.
The Expos think they might get Vladimir Guerrero back after the All-Star break. That could be optimistic, though. Guerrero has a herniated, and is that what you had, the herniated disc?
Well, my guess it was herniated, but my disc, literally 2 chunks broke off and popped out from the main disc between my L5 and S1. It's no fun to have them because the nerve is getting pinched. And what's more troublesome, there's Frank Robinson, is that when it pinches the nerve, it's usually the nerve that runs down your leg, down one of your legs in your hamstring area, and it cuts the blood circulation off, and you're more susceptible to muscle pulls. So that's got to be the main concern.
Well, Frank Robinson's been hobbling around lately too. He has an Achilles heel problem. 0-2 on the way to Callaway, lifted the other way, and Floyd's right there. 2 away. Now Jae-Ung So has retired 5 in a row, and he looks very much in sync. His last time out was probably his poorest performance of the year, and that was last Friday night at Yankee Stadium. Remember, he had 10 days between starts because he had that finger problem where he had blood under the nail and it became irritated, worked up a little blister too, and Art Howe was saying the fact that So hit a batter and walked a batter right at the beginning of the game, that was the tip-off that rust was going to be a problem for him, and he would settle in quite a bit better as the game progressed, but the 10 days off seemed to really affect him. Now he's back in his regular turn, and so far so good.
Well, one thing about So is he's not overpowering, and you can't say that he has Nolan Ryan stuff, but he goes after hitters. He's not afraid to throw his fastball. He has good control. He's really got an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, and he throws it in good spots.
Right at Sanchez. 6 in a row for Jae-Young So. Expos go in order again. Middle of the second. Reyes likes the score. Nothing New York as we head to the last of the second. It'll be Jason Phillips doing the catching tonight with Tony Clark and Ray Sanchez to follow. A nice baggy jersey Jason wears paid off last night when he was nicked in the shirt with a pitch. Came around to score in that second inning last night. And here Livan starts him out with a fastball on the outside corner. 0-1.
Well, we're talking about how Jason Phillips has been red hot in his last 14 starts. He's 24 for 53 with a .453 batting average. 7 runs scored, 4 doubles, 7 RBIs, 5 walks. His on-base percentage is incredible. So he's really just been in the middle of things. He looks like a comic strip superhero.
What you got in mind? Batman?
I don't know.
Maybe he's Batman. He hits this a long way to the wall and gone. Take that, Robin. And it's 2-0 New York. Jason Phillips just hits and hits and hits.
The first baseman, number 52, Tony Clark.
3 hits last night, so now that's 25 for his last 54. And the Mets have a 2-0 lead. Here's Tony Clark.
Well, he stays level, and this is a fastball inner half down. This is a line drive home run. You don't have to swing up to hit home runs. He stays in there and stays level.
So how about that? We talked about this once before. Right-hand hitters are low ball hitters after all, aren't they?
They become that way. It's just the whole new philosophy on hitting. Oh, there's the good slider.
0-2 to Clark. But what would have evolved? You know, what would have changed philosophically that, you know, in your era, which wasn't that long ago, right-handed hitters were not considered low ball hitters, and now guys have started to go down there with a lot of success. Why?
You have to ask me that tough question, don't you? I just think
you always had the answers, which is why I think I can throw anything at you.
Yeah, right. I don't, you know, why are lefties low ball hitters more natural? I don't know, but I mean, there's more of a philosophy of more of an uppercut swing, although Jason Phillips does not have an uppercut swing. They're better breaking ball hitters. They're more on their back foot now than they are as far like golf, transferring your weight forward. It's just a whole, and I don't agree with it. I mean, the guy that does it the best, but he's a streaky guy, is the outfielder Edmonds for center fielder, Jim Edmonds. But he strikes out 150, 60 times. But when he's hot, he's hot. And speaking of Jim Edmonds.
Fouled away by Sanchez. No balls and 2 strikes.
So it's hard for I can't put a finger on it. I know I can talk to my brother who's got his son is 18 years old, ready to go to college, and they're being taught that in the high school level. Carney Lansford actually is the former A in Boston Red Sox.
He's a good hitter, Carney.
Yes.
Sanchez grounds to second, thrown out by Vidro, 2 men away. Jae-Young So coming up. Hey, we want to remind you again about tonight's edition of Angles at 10:30 on MSG Network. You won't want to miss this one. Mike Breen is going to talk about the Knicks draft of this season and how successful it was, and we'll get a behind-the-scenes look as we had our cameras involved in how Mache Lempe was able to drop down to the second round, and the Knicks pounced on him. So that'll be fun stuff to watch tonight at 10:30 on MSG. Jae-Young So 2 for 24 as a hitter.
Jay swings a good bat. Actually, both pitchers tonight are good hitters.
Chavez playing way over to the opposite field against So.
As you should against pitchers, particularly with a guy that throws fairly hard like Hernandez.
So was way behind that fastball. So it's 1-2 with Timo waiting on deck. Back to Hernandez, who fields his position not as well as any pitcher in the National League not named Greg Maddux. Phillips goes deep. Mets lead by 2.
Tonight on MSG, get an exclusive inside look at the New York Mets with the latest updates, player interviews, and in-depth analysis. It's Mets Inside Pitch. Tonight at 6 on MSG Network. This is our time. Get the inside scoop with Geico Mets on Deck. Find out all the latest team news, stats, insight, and analysis, plus a recap of all the amazing action.
What a performance. Struck him out.
Floyd hits one a ton. Whoa. Swings and misses at strike 3.
Before the first pitch, take one deep. Everything you need to get geared up for the game is on Geico Mets on Deck. A half hour before the game, only on MSG Network.
Sterling Mets. 7, 8, 9 in the Montreal batting order. Third baseman Edwards Guzman, who was part of the deal with the Giants that brought Livan Hernandez to Montreal, takes a strike.
Oh my goodness. Your nose, sir.
Jealous? Fouled away by Guzman. Wigginton covering ground, but he just can't reach it, and he's frustrated.
Well, a nice effort right there. Just lost. He looked a little bit too late. He knows he's angry. He got a little bit of a late look right there, looking out for the tarp, and then couldn't recover. Should have looked a little bit sooner.
Holy cow! That's a Harry Carey shirt. Inside to Guzman. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hello. Remember?
Oh my goodness.
Bouncing ball, fair ball down the right field line. Guzman on his way to second as Burnitz plays it back in, and it's a leadoff double for Edwards Guzman.
Well, just as we show you Bill Buckner's uniform, isn't there a ball right down the line where Mookie hit it? And this is a changeup he got over the middle, inside actually. Not good location. Hit a little bit harder than Mookie hit his in '86, and easily goes in for this should be a stand-up double. No, he slides. When in doubt, slide.
So now the Expos get a runner in scoring position leading off the inning. Brian Schneider. 0 for 4 in last night's game. 0-1 to the Montreal catcher. Schneider did not play in the opener. Michael Barrett did the catching then. Barrett has really struggled with the bat. And Schneider fouls it off. So Jay ahead of him 0-2 with a pitcher on deck. Obviously a huge out here for So, particularly if he could keep Schneider from hitting the ball to the right side to get the runner over. Sure, you're less likely to think about doing that when you're the 8th place hitter and you've got the pitcher up next.
Exactly.
Schneider's thinking RBI here. And he goes the other way. Wigginton grabs it. Nice play, Ty Wigginton. So Ty was a little ticked at himself. He didn't catch the foul ball by Guzman, who wound up doubling. Might have taken a hit away here.
Well, just a Tough luck line drive by Schneider with 2 strikes. Good hitting on a pitch away. Knee high and outside corner, just kind of slaps it down the line, but you know, 10 feet either way, 8 feet. It's a double.
So that keeps Guzman on second. Livan can swing the bat though. He's 5 out of 30 this year, and he takes inside for a ball. Hernandez, as you see, 4 runs batted in.
Livan's lifetime batting average is .237.
And he loops one. Grabbed by Bell. It's going to be a double play. Guzman thought it was headed to center field, and the side's retired. So Frank Robinson sore Achilles, and sore to begin with after not being happy with his pitcher last night. It's just a little more angry.
Cyclones baseball returns to Fox Sports Net. Catch New York's future stars today as the boys from Brooklyn swing away all summer long. The Cyclones host the Aberdeen Ironbirds tonight at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
Jeromy Burnitz delivers tonight's quote, brought to you by Tri-State Consumer Auto Insurance. And Keith, Jeromy certainly knows the facts of life as they approach the trade deadline.
Yes, the Oracle at Delphi. Anybody can get traded. It's how I got here. It comes with the job. It's part of the game. It happens to a few of us a couple of times. If you're lucky. Only a couple of times. If you're lucky.
You once, right?
Well,
Cleveland was a free agent, right?
Yeah, free agent. But still, you're getting ousted by their club. They don't sign you back, so that counts.
Timo grounded to short his first time up. Mets with a 2-0 lead here in the third. And now it's 0-2 to Perez.
Well, as we said, Timo now is going to get another opportunity to play quite a bit in center field, right field, or left. See if he can stay healthy.
That's the big thing. He had the problem earlier in the year, which cost him a lot of time. Perez was on the DL with a strain of the right calf. And he hits this one into center field. So Perez picks up the 3rd hit of the game for the Mets. The first one that stays in the yard. And now Jay Bell will be the batter, and the tempo is going to change dramatically here.
Well, it's a breaking ball on the outer half of the plate. It's down. But Timo's a good breaking ball hitter. He's a dangerous hitter. He's like Mookie in a way. I don't think he's the hitter that Mookie was, but Mookie always swung the bat and could hit a ball anywhere in the strike zone.
Well, here's the point about the change of tempo. Historically, and Mookie a big part of history, Livan throws over about as much as anyone. So this first is probably the first of many. Not necessarily in this confrontation, but for as long as he stays in the game. He will work that base runner at first base as hard as any pitcher in the game. And remember now, Jay Bell, good hit and run candidate.
Absolutely. Timo is 0 for 4 in stolen base attempts this year, has yet to get a stolen base. But as you said, this is an ideal hit and run situation. Do you want to do it first pitch, or do you want to wait for the count?
They're doing it right away, and Bell tried to go the other way. So Timo comes back. It's 0-1. Art Howe not wasting any time.
Well, when you've got a club struggling offensively, scoring runs, when you've got a situation where you've got the 2 guys there, speed on the base, and a guy that handles the bat well, as in Jay Bell, you want to try to create runs, create situations to score runs. This is not a home run hitting ball club. It's basically a doubles, line drive, singles hitting club that hasn't got a lot of speed. So you have to, and there's not a lot of guys that can hit and run in this on the ball club. Jay Bell is one of them. So when you have this opportunity, you've got to take advantage of it.
So Livan will bear down as Timo stretches the lead at first. Of course, there's a difference between a stolen base lead and a hit and run lead. A little more conservative, the hit and run. They don't run there, and Bell hits it up the middle. Nice play, Cabrera, but the fancy flip doesn't work. And everybody's safe. I think I just saw another gray hair pop up right around the temple of Frank Robinson.
Well, you've got to make sure of the out here. And he does it with a glove hand. And it's just too much glove there, and you can see he left it hanging. He's got to do a backhand flip with his throwing hand, and he gets the out. And you called it. A little bit of the fancy.
So that's an error on Cabrera. Second error for the Expos. Now the Mets have 2 on with nobody out, and Burnitz, who homered his last time up, fouls the first pitch off.
Well, he threw him a breaking ball there for sure. He got burned in the first inning right here on a 1-2 fastball after pretty much Jeromy was swung through and swung and missed a couple of sharp breaking balls. Tried to sneak one by him. Jeremy's one of the best fastball hitters in the league.
Tough to sneak a fastball by a good fastball hitter. Bob Murphy over in the radio booth had such a classic line about just that situation. I was working with him a long time ago when Howard Johnson hit a home run. Pitcher tried to get a fastball by him, and Murph said it's like trying to sneak sunrise past a rooster. Isn't that great?
Yes. Frank Howard had a great line. Frank, one of the great fastball hitters when he was manager and coach here when I came over in '83. He was talking about when his days at the Senators.
There's the breaking ball, and Jeromy pops it up. Callaway's got a real good arm, so Timo's not going anywhere. I saw Callaway's arm a couple of nights ago.
Well, he didn't get him over there.
There's Murph.
Murph.
Like trying to sneak sunrise past a rooster. God bless us. Since 1962, the Mets have been in the National League, and Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner continue to be a part of it. So 1 out for Floyd. What was that Hondo line?
Oh, Hondo. He was talking. I think he was playing the Twins, and it might have been Camilo Pascual had one of the great curveballs.
Yeah.
And he said he just hooked him the whole game. And he said 3 strikeouts. He never saw a fastball. He said he got me 0-2 on curveballs in the 4th at bat. He said he tried to sneak a fastball by me, Keith. And he goes, and I turned on the fan and wrapped it around the foul pole.
Well, he did that to quite a few pitchers. As you look at Perez, great speed at second. And Jay Bell, not much speed at this point at first. And don't forget, Bell was on the disabled list not too long ago because of a strained right groin. So 1-1 to Cliff. We're in the 3rd. Wigginton waiting on deck. Mets with a 2-0 lead, and they're looking for more. In the air to right field, pretty deep. Callaway, warning track, and now a step in front of the track makes the catch. Perez on his way to 3rd, and the throw is properly cut off, preventing Bell from joining Perez in scoring position. So now there are 2 men away after the Mets had 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Now runners are at the corners.
Well, here are both runners on this fly ball, and it's hit deep enough right now. Timo reads it. Is it going to go? No, he knows now that it's not. Gets back to the bag. Same thing for Bell. Bell's just going to come off and see if he overthrows the cutoff man. He's going to be in position to go to second base. But Callaway has shown not only a good arm, a great arm, but an arm that hits the cutoff man. It's so critical. It's still 1st and 3rd instead of 2nd and 3rd because he hit the cutoff man.
So now Wigginton. Bell bluffs, doesn't go. Schneider came up ready to throw, and the count 1-0. And they call a balk? No, just timeout. So Bell start to move towards second base, and the umpire had thrown his arms up, but just 1-0 to tie Wigginton here.
The Mets are trying to score again. He scored in the first 2 innings, trying to score again in the 3rd.
2-0 on Wigginton. Livan has had runners aboard in each of the 3 innings. Again, the outfield shades the other way against Ty, and it's 2-1. Wigginton taking a long look down at Matt Galante, see if there's any kind of play on. Jay Bell bluffed going on the first pitch, as if the Mets were going to try and create something with Timo coming down the line from 3rd. That never evolved. And again, they check Bell at first base. So Hernandez, told you how many times he'll throw over under any circumstances to begin with. Also suspicious that something might be up here with 2 outs.
Well, I don't think the Mets would try to steal a run here with this rundown play when you've got your fifth hitter up. You got your 5th hitter up, for crying out loud.
And that's not the way Art Howe has played it this year. He's been very conservative with regard to plays like that. 3-1. And at one point, Jay Bell over at first was looking down to Matt Galante, and it looked like he made a motion to run through the signs again. So he might have thought he saw something on that first pitch that wasn't there. But
well, we'll see 3-1 if he sends them with 2 outs. Puts him in motion. Got a guy with a good eye. He does not.
And it's ball 4, so they're loaded up for a red-hot Jason Phillips. Second walk given up by Hernandez. The Mets have loaded the bases with just 1 hit in this inning. They had a big hit in the second.
Well, the second inning here got a fastball down and in, and he just went down and got it a line drive over the 358 sign. His 4th home run of the season.
So Phillips, who's now batting .324 with 4 homers and 16 RBIs, has them loaded up here. Perez, Bell, and Wigginton aboard. Big cut and a foul ball. 0-1. Timo, Bell, and Wigginton in position to extend the Mets 2-0 lead here in the 3rd inning. Phillips playing his natural position, which is catcher in this game. First base has been a work in progress for him. But he comes out early when the Mets are on the road. He's in unfamiliar parks. He'll come out early, look at the angles of the sun. It's been great to watch him work at learning the position. And a line drive, will it hold up for Wilkerson? No. In comes Timo. Here comes Bell. Throw is cut off. Diving back at second is Wigginton. It's a 2-run single for red-hot Jason Phillips. And it's 4-0 New York. How about this kid?
He's a line drive hitter, level swinger, and he likes the fastball. And here he gets it rolled right belt high inner half, and it's almost the same swing with the home run. The same swing, exact swing. The other pitch was a little bit low. Well, it's a no-brainer for Timo here. 2 outs. He's going to break. No-brainer for Jay Bell here, hustling around with 2 outs. 4-0.
And now Tony Clark, last night's hero, who had the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 9th, caught looking his first time up tonight. So the Mets put up a crooked number after single runs in the 1st and 2nd. It's now 4-0 with Wigginton at 2nd and Phillips at 1st. Clark, the 7th man to bat in the inning.
The Mets tonight are going for their possibly their first sweep of a series of the season.
0-2 to Clark. Well, they're off to a good start in quest of that sweep. Jay So has faced the minimum through the first 3. Well, Clark now behind in the count, 0-2. Got him with a breaking ball. So Clark strikes out for the 2nd time, but in the 3rd, the Mets get 2. There were 2 hits. Phillips has driven in 3. Fran Healy for the next 3.
The fast-moving New York sports scene is tough to keep pace with. So New York sports fans know the online source for all the latest at its best. Fast, informed, complete. MSGNetwork.com, and it's only from MSG. Fans, celebrate MSG's Cheering for Children Week, July 7th, 8th, and 10th with Mets baseball on MSG Network and Fox Sports Net. Bid on unique Mets experiences and memorabilia, with all proceeds benefiting MSG Network's Cheering for Children Foundation. Announce the starting lineup at Shea, throw out the first pitch, or spend an entire game trailing Matt Loughlin. Plus, Mets autographed memorabilia, all up for bid and for a great cause, supporting after-school programs for New York City kids. Cheering for Children Week begins Monday night with the Mets and Braves on Fox Sports Net. MSG delivers New York sports talk on Talk of Our Town.
What they're going to do with Reyes is what's best for Reyes and Reyes alone.
They're not going to have him here to sit on the bench. If he's here, he's going to be playing.
Yeah, but he's hitting 200.
And he's hitting a clutch 200 also.
Well, but a clutch 200 is
11 reps and 54 at bats.
I understand that. You're right. And they're throwing when guys on base.
wasn't doing it.
Yeah, but Bill, I mean,
Vaughn wasn't doing it.
Talk of our town, presented by Sims. Live today on MSG Network. This is our town.
Well, back here at Shea Stadium, now it's time for our Aflac trivia question. And the Aflac trivia question reads, who are the only Mets to hit 40 or more home runs in a season? A big crowd on hand here. Top of the 4th inning. A lot of those batting practice jerseys out there with Jay So's name on the back. And so far, Jay So has been throwing the ball extremely well. He's only allowed a 1 hit. The Mets have a 4-0 lead. Indy Chavez, the batter, with the 1-0 count. Absolutely beautiful night here at Shea Stadium once again.
And Jay So, again, a typical performance of his. 33 pitches so far in 3 innings, Fran. That's 11 pitches an inning, 26 strikes. So he's doing what he does. He's, like I say, he's not overpowering. He's not afraid to throw his He's not afraid to throw his fastball. He spots his pitches well and uses the off-speed pitch wonderfully.
So's 2-1 pitch to Chavez. Chavez drives the ball, gap center field. This is extra bases as the ball bounces over the wall. A break for the Mets because Chavez is a player who hit the most recent inside the park home run for the Expos. That's an indication that he can fly. And watch this.
Well, it's a changeup, and he kind of hung in there. I think he saw it the first time around. That's good hitting, good balance. And Timo likes to play that shallow center field, and we've seen time and time again balls hit over his head. You just got to play a little bit deeper when your club has a lead. Adjust as the game progresses.
And there's a hard hit ball in the right field by Orlando Cabrera. Barehanded by Burnitz. Cabrera stops at first base. Chavez moves to third. So the Expos here in the 4th inning only had 1 hit in 3 innings. Now they have 2 more.
Well, Cabrera gets a ball down the middle and a pitch you can either pull or go the other way. It looked like he was looking to go the other way. And the lead runner here did not get a good read on that ball. Should have scored. And Burnitz here gets a funny bounce. You see what reaction with his bare hand. Ball took a sidewind bounce on him. Made a nice play to keep it in front of him.
Boy, that was a nice play by Jeromy Burnitz to barehand that ball. And now Jay So will take on Brad Wilkerson. Wilkerson takes outside. He struck out his first time up. Wilkerson was runner-up for Rookie of the Year last year.
Well, the concern about So is as he goes through the lineup that they kind of get onto him. Even though how can you say that when he's 5-3 and pitched so well? But the first through 4 innings this year so far, he's got a 1.93 earned run average, and all the subsequent innings after, from the 5th on, 4.50. And there you have it broken down for you. Then he gets stronger in the 7th and 9th.
You know, it's interesting because when he was an afterthought in spring training. He was not going to make the ball club. Nobody grabbed hold of the 5th rule. He made the ball club, and then Art Howe really didn't know him. Vern Rule didn't know him. They became concerned, as Keith said, about as the game progressed, teams might start hammering the baseball. So they would let him pitch. He'd pitch well, and then bang, they poke him out of the ball game. Now they want him to stay in because he has proven that he can be effective late in the game.
Well, Traxel and So have been the guys that have given them the innings when they needed them, when the bullpen was getting worn out. So has been consistent in going into the 7th, and Traxel has become the best pitcher in the ball club.
Both right-handers, both throwing the ball well. 2-2 now on Brad Wilkerson. I know when you talk about those innings, the most important thing is productive innings. And these guys, Jay So and Steve Traxel, have been productive in their innings pitched. It's 4-zip right now. The Mets on top of the Expos. The Mets can win. If they win tonight, it'll be the first series sweep this year. They check Cabrera at first base. The Expos playing without Vladimir Guerrero. Boy, they got to watch him when he comes back. That violent swing he has, I'm sure, is not real good for a herniated disc. Runners on the corners, and so fakes, throws to first.
I don't think anything's going to be on right here when you're down 4 runs. You're not going to run yourself out of a potential big inning here. There's that hole I love between first and second. Left-hand hitter.
It's now 3-2. We'll see if that hole is utilized.
Well, Wilkerson has struck out 78 times this year. So it's another situation. Well, maybe I don't want to send him, strike him out, throw him out. I'm out of the inning. So I say he's going to hold him here.
Cabrera can steal a base. It's 3-2. They check him.
How do you have 78 strikeouts so far in the season? That is a big number. That's a lot of strikeouts.
And as I mentioned, runner-up, rookie of the year last year in the National League, a good player. Sign of the times, the strikeout. 3-2 pitch. There goes Cabrera outside, ball 4. So the bases are loaded with Expos. Jason Phillips goes out to talk to Jay So. And a reminder, very important nights coming up in July. Watch the Mets on July 7th, 8th, and 10th for MSG Network's Cheering for Children Week. It's the telethon. Bid on autographed memorabilia, the chance to take batting practice, or throughout the first pitch at Shea, or follow Matt Lachlan around for an entire game. Log on to MSGNetwork.com to see all the items available and tune in starting Monday to take part in the fun. All proceeds benefit MSG Network's Cheering for Children Foundation. Quite a cause.
And quite a situation here, a little dicey situation for So. The red-hot Pedro. Big night last night, 2 home runs, a double, almost a 3rd home run with that double. Of 1 foot higher, that's out of the ballpark. He's got the bases loaded, nobody out.
Since coming into the major leagues in 1999, Pedro has batted over 300. This year again, he's over 300. He takes up high. 2 balls and no strikes. So what a situation this is. Nobody out with that. Vern Rule's going out to talk. Bases loaded, nobody out. 2-0 on Jose Pedro.
Well, I think it's So right now. If he would take anything back, it's the last at bat to Wilkerson. You know, it's his 19th walk of the season, the first walk of the game. 19 walks in 95, almost 96 innings pitched. So he's a control pitcher, but he loaded the bases with that one.
What a situation, huh?
Oh, well, now your 1-0 is even a better situation. 2-0, excuse me.
So Vern Rule did his talking, and we'd like to remind you that tonight at MSG at 11, don't miss the best in New York sports talk on Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims. Call up and have your voice heard live tonight at 11. Right here on MSG Network. That's Talk of Our Town. Here's the 2-0 pitch, a hitter's pitch.
Ooh, taken all the way.
That
fastball down the pipe.
That didn't come from Frank Robinson. No way.
No way.
No way. Look at that. 2-0. And he takes us now 2-1.
Oh, no. Same situation now. 3-1 is like 2-0. So I cannot believe he would take this pitch.
Look at those numbers. Bases jammed. 13 for 34. 2 grand salamis. And batting close to 390. Ball 4. So Jay So walks in a run. It's now 4-1 in favor of the Mets.
And it didn't miss by much.
Right fielder, number 22.
But it missed.
Outside.
42nd RBI of the season for Pedro. It just missed. You can see Jason Phillips there just move his glove away, tried to bring it back in.
So Ron Callaway will be the batter. Callaway, Leads all National League rookies with 8 home runs. He looks good. He hits a hopper to first. Clark throws it away. Whoa! An error on Tony Clark. Callaway rounded first base. He was heading for second and put on the brakes. As the Expos were only able to score 1 run on an error by Tony Clark, Cabrera scores. Huge break for the Expos.
Well, this is the right play by Clark. It's a bouncer. He's not going to get 2 with the speedy Callaway. It's a heads-up play to go home. He just made the bad throw. So the only fault in this play is the throw. It was the proper play to go home. This could be one of those nights. The Expos have made 2 errors. The Mets have made 1, and have all cost runs.
Will Cordero's the batter. He grounded out his first time up, and he takes a ball. This has been a wild inning for the Expos. Start off with a double, followed by a single, 2 walks, and an error. Still nobody out. Cordero, base hit, left field. 1 run scores. So it's now 4-3 in favor of the Mets.
And I think that'll get some activity in the bullpen pretty quick now. We'll keep an eye on that.
Baseman, number 35.
33rd RBI for Cordero. Base is still loaded, nobody out.
And the batter now, Edwards Guzman. He's had the highest hitting streak, the longest hitting streak, I should say, for the Expos this year, 11 games. He drives the ball left field. This should score another run. And the throw from Cliff Floyd is offline, and we got a tie ball game. So the Expos here in the 4th inning come up with 4 runs, and we are now all tied up at 4.
The catcher, number 39, Brian Schneider.
Sacrifice fly for Guzman.
Well, heck, you got a pitcher struggling here. The bases are loaded. The throw home hits the cutoff man. He would have been safe, even if it's on line. But the fact that he hit the cutoff man, Cliff doesn't have a real terribly strong arm, doesn't have a bad arm, has an average arm out there in left field.
And the batter now be Brian Schneider. He pops it up. Will it stay in play? Wigginton and Phillips over by the dugout, and it's out of play.
So if Swinso looks back on this inning, he'll kick himself for the 2 walks. They both wound up scoring. Wilkerson and Vidro got on via the walk, and both have scored.
So Tony Clark took a shot at the lead runner and picked up an error. The Expos have 2 errors in this game. The Mets 1. Runners on first and second. We got 1 out. Schneider does the bulk of the catching against right-handed pitching for the Expos. Michael Barrett goes against left-handers. Schneider takes down low. 1-1. You guys were talking about left-handers are low ball hitters. It's safe to say they're better low, Keith, than they are up, but they can hit the ball up or they'd be run right out of baseball.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's 1-1 on Schneider. Takes a ball, 2-1. One thing players will do, they'll talk about the weaknesses of other players, how to pitch them. Even your own teammates they'll study, just in case someday they have to file a report as an opponent. 2-1. Pulled to toe. Bad hop. Another break for the Expos. They pick up another run. They have taken the lead, and the Mets right there got a bad hop. Schneider gets a base hit and an RBI.
Well, it's the worst of all possible hops. You can almost take your head off here. It's a bullet. 2-hopper, and look at that hop right over the shoulder. Nothing you can do about that. If you're an infielder, you go in there and you look for that spot where that ball took that hop, and you just do a little gardening there with your cleats and try to smooth out that surface in front of you. And that's a single all the way.
And Livan Hernandez, who can hit, will be the batter. One man out. We are still in the top of the 4th inning, and the Mets, who had a 4-0 lead coming into this inning, now trail by 1.
And you're talking about Livan, a career .237 hitter, second among active pitchers. Mike Hampton is the tops at .252.
Hampton did some damage out there in Colorado when he played there with his bat.
Yes.
Not with his arm. He's now pitching for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, he started that game last night, and at 20-1, he got rocked.
He got rocked by the Florida Marlins as Livan Hernandez takes a strike. And it's unbelievable that Mike Hampton is the 2nd highest paid Florida Marlin, but he's on the Braves. Pudge Rodriguez is making the most money. Hampton went through the Marlins up to Atlanta on that trade that took him from Denver to Atlanta, and the Marlins are paying his salary. Livan Hernandez bunts the ball to first base. Tony Clark, nobody covers. Nobody covers first base. The roof is caving in right now on the Mets. They're going to stop the leak.
Well, you had time here. It's a smart bunt by Livan here. Okay, now look the runner back. Look where the runner is. Plenty of time. He makes the throw and leads Bell to the bag. Bell's there. You're not going to do it underhanding here. Over the top throw. That's not going to happen with a shovel. It's too far away.
So Tony Clark has picked up an error in this inning. I'm sure that'll be scored a base hit. And the batter now, Endy Chavez. And here comes Art Howe. So the Mets will go to the bullpen to try and stop the bleeding. And it's not too late. They trail by 1 run. So Art Howe will go to his bullpen. That'll be all for Jay So. It's 5-4 Expos, and we'll be back.
Battle the haze on those summer Shea days with your Verizon Mets visor. On Tuesday, July 8th, the first 35,000 adults 13 and over to pour through the styles will watch in style as the Mets brave the Braves. The game starts at 7:10, so hurry out to the park. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
A look right now at a southpaw. The Mets bring in the ball game. And Jay So is out of the game, and he is tearing the dugout apart. He is obviously not a happy camper. And a new pitcher, Keith.
Well, Pedro Feliciano, he had to sit down for a few days. He had that long stint, his last outing out in the June 28th game at Yankee Stadium. He went 5 innings in that game that was temporarily a blowout. And here he is coming in tonight.
And a reminder, tomorrow on Fox Sports Net, catch the Cyclones in action when Brooklyn hosts the Aberdeen Ironbirds. That's live coverage. It gets underway at 7. That's Cyclones baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. And I believe Cal Ripken Jr. has something to do with the Aberdeen Ironbirds.
Yes, he does.
Is he the
part owner, yes.
So that's the Cyclones and the Ironbirds tomorrow on Fox Sports Net. Mets will take off. Excuse me, Keith. Mets will take off after the game and head to Cincinnati. 3-game series over the weekend in Cincinnati. The Friday game is a day game. 4th of July. Endy Chavez facing Feliciano, and there's the breaking ball. It buckles it. Strike 1. Here's the rule, Keith, in baseball that a lot of guys don't like.
There's the curveball, knees in black, outside corner.
Feliciano, middle reliever. He's in here to hold the Expos. Most roles are glamorous roles in baseball, but this is not.
It's become worse with 13, 12-man rotations.
Yeah.
And starting pitchers that won't hardly go over 7. There's a lot of strain on bullpens. That's why I think they've increased the number of pitchers out there on the 25-man roster. And there's another good curveball.
You know the way Chavez has been swinging at that breaking ball?
Throw him another one?
In a heartbeat.
Either that or if you could throw him a fastball away. He's buckling. He's stepping in the bucket. You got to throw him another hook.
It's 1-2 on Chavez. Bases are loaded. And that was an uncomfortable strikeout. He was bailing and on his heels.
The shortstop.
Well, they gave him a little bit one out of the strike zone this time. The other two were strikes, and this is not a good at bat.
No.
And that's a situation with the bases loaded, one out. It's still a one-run ball game with a lot of game left. That's a big run to pick up out there. We've all left them on base before in that situation.
It's huge right now to get Cabrera and just stop the bleeding, get back in the dugout, and let the offense take over. And forget the top of the fourth. No balls and one strike on Cabrera. By the way, Joe Donnelly, the official scorer on the bunted ball, ruled it a mechanical error. I never heard of that one.
This game's getting too complicated.
Mechanical error.
I still say that Jay Bell would have got there. If the throw, you lead him like a wide receiver doing a square in across the middle. You lead him properly with an overhand throw. He gets there before the runner.
Well, it scored an error now, so 2 errors for the Mets, 2 for the Expos as Cabrera takes a ball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike on Cabrera, who's 1 for 2. He's got a single and he's scored a run. There's Joe Donnelly. We had an opportunity to talk to Joe before the ball game.
I still agree with him the fact that Jay Bell should have been there quicker. There's no question about that.
Cabrera. Did he check it? No, he didn't. It's a called strike, so it's 1-2.
There was no other place for Jay Bell to go other than the first base on a bunt towards the first baseman.
Folks, I can tell you one thing. When Keith was playing first base, if somebody gave him a mechanical error, right now he'd be coming up to the 4th level on the elevator to get the official score.
You know, when I played here, I didn't know that this was the 4th level.
Well, you can look up and you know where the official score is.
Well, no, you never know. It's a whole crew of the press corps over there. There's millions of them.
That's right. It's 1-2 now on Orlando Cabrera. Bases are loaded with Expos. The Mets trail by 1. Cabrera hits a bullet just foul down the left field line. It used to be a gesture from a player on the field to the official score.
Well, the only one that I took the elevator down with him last night, ironically, was Red Foley. It was always the home book, and Red was just a tough scorer. Red made. He knew the rules of the game, but he did not believe in a home book, and given the slightest break to the home hitter used to drive me crazy.
There it is. Imagine a mechanical error. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. The flip to first. Got him. So, do they stop the bleeding? They did there in the 4th. They need some runs because the Mets trail by 1.
MSG delivers New York sports news on MSG Sports Desk. Scores, highlights, and exclusives focusing on the teams and stories that matter most to our town. MSG Sports Desk, presented by Toyota. Tonight only on MSG Network. This is our town. New York sports teams. Talk. Opinions. News. Exclusives. With timely, opinionated, insightful coverage, MSG Network delivers 24/7, just like New York. MSG, the ultimate destination for New York sports fans. This is our town.
Well, that's the score, 5-4. The Expos on top of the Mets. Now let's go downstairs to Matt Loughlin. Matty?
All right, friend, this weekend the Mets take on the Cincinnati Reds out in Cincinnati. Gene Bennett, for 51 years, has been with the Cincinnati Reds. He's the senior advisor to the GM. Advanced scouting this series. And what are you looking for as you check out the Mets?
Well, actually, we're getting ready to play the Mets, which you know, this weekend, and we just want to check all those guys out and make sure they haven't changed any and make sure they're still doing the things we think they're going to do.
Looking for some tendencies?
Yeah, looking for tendencies, see who's playing well, see who might have a little tender arm, who might not be throwing good, who might not be running good, and all that kind of stuff.
Now, how can you judge, and we'll take a seat here and let the fans behind us see the action, how can you judge whether a guy's got a tender arm?
Well, actually, you know about the strength of every one of them, which you try to know every one for the whole league. And then when you see a guy that's got to make a throw and he just doesn't deliver, then you want to check that out a little bit. He might have a tender arm, or something might be wrong that he can't throw, or he might have a bad leg, or, you know, something like that.
Now, tonight's starting pitcher, Jae-Young So, will not pitch against Cincinnati this weekend, but do you still scout him too?
Yeah, we want to see him. We want to see him good. We want to see him bad. I know tonight wasn't one of his best nights, but I was in here about 2 or 3 weeks ago and really saw him good, and I know he's a good pitcher.
How many times will you see a team before you get that final report out tomorrow? So how many times will you have seen the Mets?
I've saw the Mets probably 10 or 12 times. I saw them real early in the year, and then I saw them a little bit later. I was looking at St. Louis one time, and I was looking at Milwaukee, I think, another time, and I was looking at Montreal another time. And now I'm back in here, see the Mets, and I'm seeing Montreal again. So you put together a pretty good book on it.
Now, we know Cincinnati's got a home run hitting ballpark. The new ballpark is conducive to home runs. Does that come into play in your scouting at all?
Well, not really. You know, you like to see the kind of swings that hitters take when the ball's in different spots. And, you know, a lot of guys hit the ball down real good. A lot of them hit the ball up real good. A lot of them hit it in real good and out real good. And you just want to be sure that they're still swinging the bat like you saw them earlier when you saw them before.
Now, I know you're in, I think it's the Mid-Atlantic Scouts Hall of Fame. Should there be a wing at Cooperstown for scouts?
Yeah, well, there is one now. They're just getting it all down and getting it all ready. And I think probably in the next year or so it's going to, you know, it'll be there. I know the one that I'm in is in over in Camden Yards in Baltimore right now. And I think in time all those will probably be moved to Cooperstown, where they ought to all be all over there.
Well, Gene, we appreciate your time and continued success, and 51 years still going strong.
Still going strong, and we're hoping to have a winner this year. You know, it's been about 1990s last time we got a ring, so we don't like to go too long without getting those.
All right, thanks for your time. Fellas, back upstairs to you.
All right, Matty, as you were talking, the scout missed the sacrifice bunt, the base hit. The base hit off the bat of Ray Sanchez. And Feliciano executed the sacrifice. You see Jay Bell talking to Tony Clark. He's saying, what's a mechanical error? I've never heard that one before. And Tony Clark saying, forget mechanical. I just threw it off the backstop. But there's a runner on second base. He represents the tying run. Timo Perez, who's 1 for 2 as the batter. And he fouls off the first pitch. So no balls and 1 strike on Timo Perez. 1 out. We're in the 4th inning. Gorgeous night here at Shea. Jay Bell is on deck, still wondering about that mechanical error. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Guzman over to Cordero. 2 now.
Well, nice play by Guzman here. Had to play in. Timo's a potential bunt. And this is a pitch that just ran away a little out of the strike zone, and Timo tried to slap it in the hole. Guzman playing in the hole, looks the runner back. 5-3 on your scorecard. Here's Sanchez's reaction. He has to hold. Nowhere to go.
So 2 in or out. Jay Bell is the batter, and he takes down low. Ball 1. Again, the Mets will leave town for a short trip, and then they come back here to Shea Stadium and take on those Atlanta Braves. Braves getting shellacked last night by the Marlins. They're all tied at 1 in the 9th inning in Florida. So come on out to Shea Stadium next week. Tickets still available as the Braves come in, followed by those Philadelphia Phillies. A lot of baseball out here. Hey, how about those 73 Mets will be in town, celebrating an anniversary as Jay Bell swings and misses 2-1.
Big Tug's going to be here.
Tug McGraw will be. There's our Delta Airlines upcoming schedule.
All 3 games in Cincinnati will be on WB11, 1 o'clock Friday and Sunday, 7 Saturday, and then there's that play. I'll be on a Delta tomorrow to Cincinnati.
And Jay Bell will be on Delta, but he fouls it off. We've got business here at Shea right now. The Mets trail 5-4. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bell 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored a run. Sanchez leads off second base. Livan Hernandez is not overpowering. Throws down low. Mets are 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Livan Hernandez signed after defecting from Cuba. And he was in terrific shape when he signed, and then he was introduced to fast food here in this country.
Into Western supermarkets.
And he enjoyed the fast food. He really ballooned up. He's lost weight since.
All those starches.
Starches. Down low. So now Jay Bell walks. Runners on first and second, and we're going to go and take a look at our Aflac trivia question.
Who are the only Mets to hit 40 or more homers in a season? And I have to say Todd Hundley's got to be one of them. Oh, of course. Mike Piazza in '99 did it.
Saw Mike Piazza in the clubhouse before the ball game. Working out. He hopes to start swinging the bat in a few days. Well, he can hit him. He can hit him as far as anybody.
He just got to take his time coming back and not come back too early.
I agree. Jeromy Burnitz takes a throw to second. Oh, boy. They're lucky he dropped the ball. Cabrera going behind Sanchez. Strong throw by Schneider.
Well, they picked off Jose Reyes last night, and he got caught. He just got caught way out too far. He would have been out with. Oh boy, that would have been a bad play.
So nice try by Schneider. Art Howe is happy. Ball was dropped. 1 ball and no strikes on Jeromy Burnitz, who hit a home run in this ball game. See all the numbers on the top of the screen, and you're watching all the action on MSG Network tonight. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. We had 2 beauties the past 2 nights.
Jeromy thought that was a ball. You saw you can read his lips. He said that was a ball.
Cliff Floyd on deck. Jeremy's talking to himself up there. Inside with the breaking ball.
We had a nice chat in the clubhouse yesterday.
You and Jeromy?
Oh, yeah.
Talk a little hitting.
So Livan coming with the breaking ball. Got hurt by the fastball in the first inning. I got to believe in this situation, nursing a 1-run lead, that he's going to drop a hammer on Jeromy here.
There's a drive down the left field line, but foul. Nice crowd on hand again tonight here at Shea Stadium. And another reminder, next week, Braves will be in town. So come on out to Shea Stadium. They'll be followed by the Phillies.
That was actually the best swing I've ever seen Jeromy take here as his tenure as a Met, going to left field on a pitch away. That was a fine swing. He didn't try to pull it.
He's hit a few home runs to left field this year, about 5 of them. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Whoa. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second.
Well, it's the fastball running away, and you can see it missed. You can see how Jeromy steps really towards the shortstop. Almost too much.
Saw Cliff Floyd on deck. Good situation for Jeromy Burnitz. He's got a dinger in his ball game. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Swing. Oh, he swung at a bad breaking ball. And that will do it for Jeromy Burnitz, who wanted to check his swing but couldn't. Mets still need 1 to tie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Al Troutler. Join us here on MSG July 4th for an Angles Marathon presented by Beck's. 3 hours of some of New York's best-known personalities in sports, plus a recap of some of the issues that we've been dealing with. An Angles Marathon, and you don't have to take a step.
Well, folks, keep cool as the season heats up. Sport your summer threads. Get your MLB authentic caps, jerseys, shirts, and more at Mets.com. Mets.com, shop for all things baseball. I have an opportunity occasionally to drive by that shop, the Mets shop on 54th Street in Midtown Manhattan. Always a big group in there checking out the memorabilia, the shirts, the caps.
There's also a Mets shop by Bryant Park, by the library, New York Library.
Saw a beautiful young lady the other night, about 10 years old, here at Shea Stadium, and she had on a beautiful Mets shirt, a pink one. Saw Jill Nee, who works in the front office. She marveled at that shirt. 1 ball and no strikes on Brad Wilkerson. There's a Mets shirt, number 31. Every now and then you see a Mets shirt here, number 17.
Graham Lloyd?
No, it has Keith Hernandez on it.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Do you plant those people in the stands?
No. You're very funny, Fran.
I like that shirt. Number 17 worn by Keith Hernandez. 1 ball and 1 strike on Brad Wilkerson. There's a strike. 1 and 2. One ball and 2 strikes on Brad Wilkerson. He hits the ball down left field line. This should be, no, it won't. It'll be a single. Had double written all over it, but Cliff Floyd erased it.
Well, another nice piece of hitting here, and this is a fastball, a pitcher's pitch, outside corner, knee high. And Cliff does close on this ball well. So good scouting on the Mets' part. Left-hand hitter. Wilkerson hitting .370 against lefties this year. And the book must be he's taking them the other way. Is that, if you play him straight up, that's a double.
This baby's popped up and foul out of play. And a reminder that tonight at 10:30 on MSG Network, Catch Angles presented by Beck's. Host Mike Breen will talk to Mathieu Lampe, who was the 2nd-round pick, I believe, of the New York Knicks. I saw him the other day in a restaurant in Manhattan, and he is big. Knicks are very happy with their selections. Hey, and you got to tune into that show. There are cameras in the war room as the draft went on.
Well, we're seeing Vidro from the right side of the plate. First time in the last 2 games.
And he pops it up. Tony Clark calling for it. He makes the grab. 1 down. So it's a big out getting Vidro.
The right fielder, number 22.
He had a big night last night.
Callaway.
And Ron Callaway will now be the batter. He's 0 for 2. He's reached on an error. It's funny, we both, Keith, over the years have been involved in ball games where you have that lead and then all of a sudden that momentum changes. And this guy in the middle of the field, Feliciano, becomes extremely important because he has to stop the bleeding, let everybody get the bandages out, and then come back and score some runs.
It's a thankless job, not with your teammates. Your teammates appreciate what the job middle relievers do. They're critical. It's just the front office that you're forsaken.
And the offset, John Franco's been a short man most of his career, and then found himself in a setup role and handled it very well. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Callaway, and he takes down low. 1-1. It's funny because years ago, you've heard it time and again, pitchers didn't want to go to the bullpen. When you went to the bullpen years ago, that meant you were in the doghouse or you were going to get released. And then they started to pay the short man a lot better. They threw in the Roll Age Relief Man Award, and they made it a glamorous part of baseball. Inside, 2-1. But that middle reliever, so important. And Feliciano right now, most important guy in the field as of this moment.
Well, it was exciting when when they're beginning with the Savers, the firemen. They came in with 8th inning with the bases loaded, 2 outs. It was a tight situation in relief of the starter. I mean, I played with one of the best in St. Louis, Bruce Sutter, who should be in the Hall of Fame. And here's the breaking ball out of the strike zone. Callaway does not play much against lefties. He's hitting 189 against them. But it was exciting. Bruce always came in a jam and got out of it. I mean, that's pressure.
Yeah, that's all. Well, they're still under pressure situations, but different type of pressure, 1 inning, usually now.
Yeah, but they're starting. I'm not taking anything away from it.
Oh, I agree.
But there was times that Bruce came in the 9th inning and started an inning. But if there was trouble, I mean, they had to come in. To me, it was just amazing. Come in out of the bullpen, warming up. Their first pitch, they're under the gun.
Yeah.
Men are in scoring position in a 1-run game.
It's an interesting situation. I had the opportunity as Feliciano balks and Wilkerson goes to second base. I had an opportunity to catch Goose Gossage.
Well, we'll see what's going on here. Oh, they just said he probably stepped behind the rubber with his leg, with his lift leg here. Let's watch. It's a better angle here. It's a great angle. Let's see if that's the call. Yep. He went behind the rubber. Once he goes behind the rubber, he has to go home.
That's the most common balk call on the left-hander. So Feliciano now will pitch to Ron Callaway. It's 3-2 on Callaway.
There it is again. You can see he's pointing his leg back out here. It's got to be behind the rubber.
And the 3-2 pitch to Callaway with 1 out and a runner in scoring position, and he gets him. Big strikeout for Feliciano.
Well, there's some lefties in this lineup that don't like
12.
lefties. And this is one of them right here. As Callaway just swung through breaking balls the entire at bat. Feliciano just gave him a steady diet.
So Pedro Feliciano will now walk Will Cordero and go after Edwards Guzman. But you can't say enough about this role that Feliciano finds himself in tonight.
Well, they had that terrific outing against the Yankees, the 5-inning stint. This is the first time he's been back since that appearance. Now Edwards Guzman's hitting 375.
There's you see
and there's the finishing line. Yes, 4 of the 5 runs were earned off of Jay So, and it's a blame to go around for everybody. Jay, that inning started out with a double, a single. The 2 walks hurt him, and then of course the bases loaded throwing error by Tony Clark, which was the right play, and then the floodgates just opened. Another error by Jay Bell, mechanical error, new terminology.
The old mechanical error. 2 outs, and Guzman takes a strike. By the way, the finish line stats were brought to you by OTB. What I would remember in this part of the game would be Feliciano, but he's not going to get out of it. Here's a looper in the left and the right center field. 1 run scores as Wilkerson crosses home plate. Cordero goes to third, and Guzman delivers. It's now 6-4.
Well, the balk hurt here.
The catcher,
hurt the
number
Mets,
39,
hurt Feliciano.
Brian Schneider.
Guzman, a left-hand hitter, hitting 375 against lefties. Got a hanging breaking ball there and just hits a line drive up the alley there in right center. Here's the base runners. It's an automatic with 2 outs. They're going to run on contact, and a ball hitting the gap like that, you don't have to look at your third base coach. You know you're going to get to third base.
Well, with runners in scoring position tonight, the Expos are 4 for 9 in the last inning with runners in scoring position. They're 3 for 5.
What a turn of events. A 4-0 Met lead to a 6-4 Expo lead.
And you tend to feel like you had the wind knocked out of you. Somebody hit you in the belly, so it's so important for the Mets to fight it. You're in the middle of the ball game. funny, though, in the dugout, you're just waiting. There's nothing you can say or do. You're just waiting for somebody to produce. Schneider fouls it off, so it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, there's a lot of ball game left, and from the perspective of the Mets, hey, you're down 2 runs, and you've got another 5 at bats, 5 innings of hitting. This game is far from over.
So no balls, 2 strikes on Brian Schneider. Runners on the corners. Big pitch. He fouls it back. Guzman on first. Got Cordero on third. 0-2 on Schneider. Oh, there's a base hit into right field. And another run scores. It's 7-4. So an 0-2 pitch that Schneider was able to hit into right field.
Pitcher, number 61.
And it's 7-4 now in favor of the Expos.
Well, Feliciano doesn't have a real sharp breaking ball. It's just kind of it breaks, but it's a lazy break. And there's just keeping the shoulder in, letting go with one hand. Look at this. Now watch him. He's right there. He knows the ball's going to be breaking away. Let's go with one hand. Actually, both hands.
How about that? It picks up a base hit. So runners now on first and second with 2 out. Livan Hernandez, who can hit, does just that. Will there be a play at the plate? Here comes the runner. The throw for Burnitz. Not in time, and Jason Phillips was unable to hold on to it. So it's now 8-4 in favor of the Expos. And Livan Hernandez with a big hit.
Well, we said Livan can hit.
Number 19,
and here's the throw at the plate. He would have been safe anyway. Tough chance for Clark, just out of his reach. Burnitz comes in. It's not what we want. A 1-hopper. It kind of slows down when you get a 2-hopper. He wasn't that far away from home. There's the break by Clark. He's right there, and there's the runner going to third. You want to draw the cutoff throw, and if you get thrown out of third base, that's fine. You got the run in. Now we're 8-4.
So we're 2 men out. Vern Rule is out talking to Feliciano. The batter will be Indy Chavez.
This all happened with 2 outs. There's Jaime Cerda up in the bullpen.
So the Expos failed to score in the first 3, but in the 4th inning they scored 5, and here in the 5th they scored 3. Mets scored all 4 runs in the 3-inning span, the first 3 innings. So it's catch-up baseball here at Shea Stadium. Mets and the Expos. Chavez takes inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, it's about time to come up and in. There's so many hitters today are just so comfortable. And that wasn't even close. I mean, the Yankee series, Fran. It's just, I mean, someone went out there, Vern Rule went out there and told him, just get away from that breaking ball. I got to pitch inside. Giambi taking swings like Godzilla, for crying out loud, and no one putting anything under his chin. And I'm not saying hit him, but not throwing inside. He's swinging and leaning over the plate, following through over the plate, and no one coming up and in and put him on his back and see if he is, hey, you want to do that? Hey, here's something for you. Think twice about diving.
I agree.
You just don't see it today.
And you make the hitter a bit uncomfortable with it.
I'm sorry.
It's inside. No, it's a strike. But you don't see it. You don't see it where you make the hitters uncomfortable. And like you said, we're not talking about hitting them.
Hey, one thing's for sure. You go to the mound, and if that's going to happen, and the hitter's going to be mad at the pitcher if he charges the mound.
No charging the mound there. Ball 4. So the Expos have runners on all 3 bases again. 2 men out in the 5th.
The shortstop, number 18.
You go to the mound and tell the pitcher, look, you got a third baseman over here, you got me over here at first, and you got the catcher. That hitter is not going to get to you. If he charges the mound, we'll be there. And the hitter's not mad at me. He's looking through me. I'm just someone in the way. He wants the pitcher. And that's how you get him, and you drop him right there. And then you have just this big pile up.
So you're advocating a nice fight?
No, well, it's up to the hitter whether he wants to charge him down. But I mean, come on, Giambi was the second baseman. Oh, the great second baseman. Soriano, for crying out loud, he was just diving on top of the plate.
He's on top of the plate.
I mean, you got to drop somebody.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Orlando Cabrera. Well, it seems that everybody's comfortable at the plate today. We have some great hitters out there. You don't want them to be too comfortable. Way inside there. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cabrera grounded to short in the first. Hit a single, scored a run in the fourth. Also in the fourth, grounded to short. You see the defense, and by the way, the Expos have batted around twice. Once in the fourth, once here in the fifth. It's a 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to third. Wigginton makes an error, and the Expos scored their 9th run.
Left fielder, number 6, Brad Wilkerson.
Well, this is just one of those games, and there goes Art Howard. Another pitching change here. I sensed a little bit of indecision and Ty, and then Cerda's going to get the call.
Well, another pitching change here at Shea Stadium. As you look at the error committed by Ty Wigginton. We're going to step away for a moment. Mets trail the Expos. We'll be back.
Tonight on MSG, get an exclusive inside look at the New York Mets with the latest updates, player interviews, and in-depth analysis. It's Mets Inside Pitch. Tonight at 6 on MSG Network. This is our time.
Hey folks, take your family to Shea. The MasterCard Grand Slam Family Pack offers fans 4 discount tickets and Mets money. Call 718-507-TIXX and have your MasterCard ready. Pedro Feliciano leaves the ball game. 32 pitches in the 5th inning for the Southpaw. Don't forget about take your family to Shea with that MasterCard Grand Slam ticket pack. And don't forget to come out next week when the Mets take on the Braves and the Phillies here at Shea Stadium. See Jaime Cerda's numbers, Keith.
Well, he stayed here because the Mets needed some arms. After that weekend series in Yankee Stadium, their bullpen was depleted. And then John Franco getting the twisted knee on that play at first base, covering. There was question whether John could pitch or not. He's day to day. I don't know if he's available. There's John. So Jaime stayed, and I got to believe that John has got a tender knee. Is not going to be able to appear today. It's on day to day though.
Well, Brad Wilkerson is the batter. He has a 2-0 count now. Jaime Cerda pitching to Wilkerson with the bases jammed. Two balls, no strikes. Mets need a out here. It is 9-4 Montreal. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, the take will probably be on here.
And Vidro's on deck.
Oh boy.
Run scores. 10-4 Expos. So that'll bring Vidro to the plate as John Franco looks on.
Number 3, Jose Vidro.
Vidro taking his time getting to the plate.
Boy, first ball, fastball hitting. You got a pitcher just walked his first hitter. May just try to get ahead of you. Bases loaded. Just sit fastball. First pitch. Oh, sits fastball. Second pitch.
So it's 1-0. Runners on all 3 bases. One of the best hitting second basemen in the game at the plate. How about Pedro batting 4th in the lineup? He fouls the ball off. He had 2 home runs in last night's game, and he just missed the 3rd one by inches.
Still advantage hitter here. 1-1 count. Bases loaded. Just walked the first guy.
Pitcher feeling his way.
Boy, he's in the hot spot, not the hitter. Now try to throw a changeup there.
2 balls and 1 strike. Callaway on deck. They are waiting for a pinch runner. So Callaway.
There's a pinch runner there as this game has become a rout.
Pinch running for the Expos. Number 1, Jose Macias.
And I correct myself, friend. John Franco is available.
By the way, that's Jose Macias going in to run for.
Has he got a bad tummy? What'd you eat?
Ground ball to third. Wigginton to Clark. And that'll do it as the Mets lead the field to derisive applause. It's 10-4, Expos.
The Brooklyn Cyclones Ocean View Party Deck is now available for the 2003 season. The Ocean View Party Deck is the perfect way to entertain any large group in one of the city's most unique and exciting environments. Perched high atop Keyspan Park, the Ocean View Party Deck gives you a panoramic view of Coney Island and all the best of Brooklyn Cyclones baseball. For more information or to book your night at Keyspan Park's Ocean View Party Deck, check out brooklyncyclones.com or call 718-449-8497.
Thursday on MSG, getting an exclusive look at the Mets with the latest updates, interviews, and analysis on an all-new Mets Inside Pitch. Tomorrow evening at 6 on MSG Network. Feature on Jose Reyes this week on Mets Inside Pitch. A player who's becoming very popular here at Shea Stadium. Unfortunately, not in the lineup tonight. You kind of miss it when he's not in the lineup. You know, he brings that energy to the lineup. You look forward to seeing him play shortstop and swing that bat. Cliff Floyd takes a strike. Mets need 6 to tie this baby up. We are in the 5th inning. 5 runs in the 4th for the Expos and 5 runs in the top of the 5th.
Oh, good slider down and in. Not a strike, but a tough pitch to lay off for a hitter. This is a pitcher's pitch. Boy, if they can do that all the time, there wouldn't be any 300 hitters.
And the 0-2 pitch from Hernandez, and Floyd, it's a drive to left field, deep left field. Wilkerson back, and he makes the grab.
Oh my!
What a play by Brad Wilkerson, taking a home run away from Cliff Floyd. Wow.
Well, look at him get back to the wall. He doesn't check.
Ty Wigginton.
Well, and he robbed him. That would have been off either the top of the wall, the least. That ball's out of here. Nice play. And here it is. Here it is again. It's a fastball belt high away. He breaks, gets a good break on there. He checked the fence. He knew exactly where he was. Ball hit high enough for him to collect himself. Nice play.
Ty Wigginton, the batter, he takes outside for a ball.
There we see it again.
Yeah, that baby's gone.
Yes, sir.
Cliff Floyd says, hey, it's 10-4. Let that ball go over the wall. 2 balls and no strikes on Wigginton.
There's still a lot of game left. This game is not over. This was one of those wild and woolly games. There's 5 unearned runs in this game.
And Wigginton drives a ball to center field. Macias catches the ball on the warning track. 2 down.
The catchers, number 23, Jason Phillips.
2 outs. And they were long drives. The batter now, Jason Phillips, who's got a couple of blows in tonight's game. A home run and a single, driving in 3. We open the show featuring Jason Phillips tonight. Some nifty defensive plays and some big hits for Phillips since joining the Mets in San Francisco. Flew all night, got off the plane, and ended up at first base. Here's the 1-0 pitch.
That didn't miss by much. Boy, he showed a good eye right there. And really, if you're 1-0 in the count and you get a curveball like that in that location, that's not a pitch to hit.
Piece of cheese on the corner. Livan Hernandez is known as a finesse pitcher, control pitcher, not overpowering. He's a big guy, though. Phillips pops it up. Callaway coming in, and he makes the grab for out number 3. So he played 5 here at Shea, and the Mets lead 6 to tie.
Welcome to the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Perfect.
When the whole world is threatened, Sean Connery must unite the powers of 5 legends.
Cheers.
Into one extraordinary force.
Let's put it to the test.
Whoa.
Dr. Jekyll, at your service.
Discover an adventure in a league of its own.
That was naughty.
Sean Connery.
The league is set. The game is on.
On July 11th, the legends come to life. The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Rated PG-13. July 11th.
Back here at Shea Stadium, and Keith, now it's time for our cheap game summary.
Oh boy, we whittled this one down here. Burnitz, of course, the solo home run is 15th in the first. The Mets got off. Then Phillips came with a home run. He has 2 singles. Mets jumped off to a 4-run lead. But boom, 5 in the 4th and 5 in the 5th for Montreal. They batted around 2 innings in a row. In those innings, 10 runs. Game is completely turned around. Mel Leiter, Eric Heilman.
And Ron Callaway's the batter. He takes the strike. Callaway fly to left in the 2nd, then he reached on an error and scored a run, then struck out in the 5th. Breaking ball up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Expos, by the way, have left 7 runners on base. The last 2 innings, they stranded the bases loaded. But they have capitalized on their opportunities. They lead 10-4. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cordero on deck. Just threw that fastball right by him, so it's 2-2.
Well, Callaway here got a fastball up and out of the strike zone. Mad at himself for swinging at that pitch. A 3-1 count becomes 2-2.
What do you do with him when Vladimir Guerrero comes back? You don't want to send him back to the minor leagues. He has 8 home runs, 32 RBIs, 7 doubles, scored 22 runs. He can play the outfield. He can throw.
You can. Well, the problem is Endy Chavez is a left-hand hitter. The center fielder Wilkerson is a left-hand hitter. You got an overload of left-hand hitters. You can't platoon them because your starting outfield, other starting outfielders are left-handers. Oh, could have rang him up.
Endy Chavez coming into tonight's action, 258 average, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. Callaway.
Oh, plenty of plate right down the pipe.
Callaway with his 8 home runs and 32 RBIs. Decision to be made by Omar Minaya and by Frank Robinson. Full count now on the Expo right fielder. And tonight in Chicago, Robbie Alomar 0 for 3. And Clint Floyd drops the ball in fair territory. And Callaway goes into second base.
Well, here's Cliff here, and he just flat
First
dropped
baseman,
it.
number 12.
That's just a flat drop.
Hit the heel of the glove.
Kind of drifted, and E7.
So an error for Cliff Floyd. It'll bring to the plate Will Cordero. In this ball game, the Mets have made 4 errors. The Expos have made 2. Cordero batting .274 with 7 home runs, and he takes a strike. In this game for the Expos. Cordero takes outside. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, they wanted to expand 4 teams in 2 years. This is what we got.
Now you're back on the expansion. Up high, 2-1. You know what? Years ago, that's what they said in 1969. How about when the Mets first started? You think the players were saying it back then?
The Mets came in what, 62?
62.
Then the Astros, I'm sorry, the Colt 45s came in 62 also, right?
Mm-hmm. Swung on and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But you know that's what they were saying back then.
Sure. And Montreal came in with Toronto. Correct?
No.
Well, that's right. San Diego and Montreal.
Right. You're on top of this. Foul out of play.
But never 4 teams in 2 years. Incrementally increased, not just one big shovelful.
They have a bigger pool of talent internationally. We have people representing Korea, Japan.
Yeah.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Cliff Floyd. And the fans are going to get into it because he made an error, but he makes the grab. And they cheer him here at Shea Stadium. 1 down.
The third baseman, number 35, Edwards Guzman.
So Cliff Floyd makes that grab. With 1 man out, the batter will be Edwards Guzman.
Got a decent crowd here tonight.
Yes, we do.
My goodness, it filled up pretty good. Fireworks night.
Coming off of 2 good ball games, Monday and Tuesday nights. Look at that.
Beautiful crowd.
Nice crowd on hand for this final game of the 3-game series. Keep in mind, the Braves will be in town next week, along with the Phillies. Threw that ball right by Guzman.
You know, back in the 80s, when we used to pack them in every night.
Yes, you did.
And it would be an hour. We'd have to take at least an hour after a game to get out of here. Let the crowd filter out. So we had a night like this with fireworks. Boy, we all showered quick and got in our cars and got out of the park before the fireworks were over. So we could be pounding the pavement in Manhattan around 10:30.
It's funny what motivated Keith over the years when he was a player. Pounding the pavement in Manhattan. That pavement in Manhattan ruined some careers over the years. Not yours.
No.
Not yours, but even some visiting players. They get tired. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Guzman. Fouled out of play. How about Guzman? .319 batting average.
Jaime's throwing a lot of pitches. Oh, rang him up.
Got him! How about that? Guzman jackknifes away and he gets him.
Well, here's the pitch.
Number 39.
Look at the catcher. He left it there. He held it there. This will not lie. Oh, just missed inside, but the umpire gave it to him. That's if you're Ted Williams, they never call that on you.
That's right. You know, it's funny. Certain hitters like yourself got the benefit of the doubt.
That was a ball. That just missed inside.
Other hitters don't get that benefit until they increase their credentials, their offensive credentials. as Brian Schneider takes the ball. So it's 1-0 on the Expo catcher. If you just tuned in, it's 10-4. We're in the 6th inning here at Shea Stadium. You're watching all the action on MSG Network. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Fran Healy along with Keith Hernandez, Howie Rose, Matt Lachlan. Our crew downstairs, producer Mike Santini, director Bill Webb.
You think Howie's still here?
Oh yeah, Howie's still here. He's in the press room and he's eating his 4th sundae. Here's a 2-0 pitch. High fly ball. Should be a can of corn. Fans are into it. And that's an out. So the Expos strand the runner, fail to score. We'll be back. 10-4 Expos.
Spend your summer nights at Shea. Come see the amazing action as the Mets battle the Braves Monday, July 7th at 7:10 p.m. The first 40,000 fans will receive an exclusive Fleer baseball card pack featuring your 2003 New York Mets. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
Today on MSG, stay on top of the New York sports scene and have your voice heard. It's Talk of Our Town, today only on MSG.
10-4, Expos on top of the Mets. And a reminder, it's time for the Coors Light Silver Bullet 6th. Josh Alegua from New York, New York is today's lucky fan. That means that the Mets hit a home run this inning. Josh, you win dinner for 2 at C. J. Sullivan's. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, date, time, phone number, and a date of birth to the address below. Tony Clark will try to help Josh out. It's 0-1 on the Met first baseman. Breaking ball for a strike.
Well, Tony's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, and he's just received a steady diet of breaking balls from Livan Hernandez.
And Livan Hernandez has a 6-run lead, and he's throwing strikes, except on that pitch there. So he wastes a fastball. 90 miles per hour. Sanchez on deck. So 1-2 pitch to Clark. Swung on and missed. Livan Hernandez is living in the strike zone. And reminder, Monday night on Fox Sports Net, the Mets host Chipper Jones and the Atlanta Braves. Geico Mets on deck leads off at 6:30. Then the action gets underway at 7. That's the Mets and the Braves Monday on Fox Sports Net. So Ray Sanchez steps to the plate and he takes a strike. Sanchez playing shortstop tonight. If you just tuned in, Ray Sanchez, I should say Jose Reyes is resting tonight as Cabrera gets Sanchez at first base. So Sanchez last night played second base. Tonight he's playing shortstop.
Raul Gonzalez will be the pinch hitter for Jaime Cerda.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Pinch hitting for the Mets, number 21,
so Raul Gonzalez. Batting .241, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Dan Wheeler taking his warm-up tosses in the pen. See the numbers. Mets need 6. Gonzalez fouls off the first pitch from Hernandez. So it's no balls and 1 strike on Raul Gonzalez. Livan Hernandez, very little wasted movement, huh? Almost, you know, speaking of that mechanical error, you look at Hernandez and he's very mechanical with his windup.
Lots of pitchers today are mechanical. There's no more herky-jerky motions at all. They're all spit out of a computer.
Didn't you like facing guys that were very compact.
Absolutely.
As opposed to that guy jumping at you.
As opposed to a Doyle Alexander.
Doyle jump at you and throw you a changeup.
Steve Carlton had a very fluid motion. I didn't mind facing. You can gauge. Doyle Alexander, Don Sutton had herky-jerky motions with good stuff to go with it. And when they're herky-jerky, you don't pick up the ball out of the hand like you normally do. It makes you sit there and wait to see the ball out of his hand that split second longer. And it puts you at a disadvantage. You have to shorten your swing.
Watch Hernandez. Very, very deliberate and compact. Fluid. Good release point, as Keith mentioned. You see it right away. Runner on first base, Raul Gonzalez. Next pitch will be
The center fielder,
100.
number 6, Timo Perez.
So Timo Perez will be the batter. Timo batting .254. He's got 14 RBIs and probably missed a pretty good opportunity earlier this year because of an injury. Art Howe wanted to give him a shot at playing center field every day as he fouls it off. Boy, it's tough when you have that injury and you're missing that opportunity, huh, Keith?
Well, Timo had a great spring, and Art Howe, remember Art Howe saying the one thing that surprised him the most about the Mets in spring training was Timo's power and pop in his bat. And then Timo gets hurt and gets hurt again and stays on the DL a long time and lost the opportunity. He's gone.
1 ball and 1 strike on Timo Perez. Perez grounded to short in the first, singled in the third, and grounded to third in the fourth. It's a high fly ball to right field. Should be a can of corn for Callaway, and it is. So the Mets strand a runner here in the 6th. New pitcher coming in. Mets trail the Expos.
Cyclones baseball returns to Fox Sports Net. Catch New York's future stars today as the boys from Brooklyn swing away all summer long. The Cyclones host the Aberdeen Ironbirds tonight at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
Play-by-play, Howie Rose.
And by the way, it was only one Sunday.
I figured you were into the grub pretty heavy.
No, just one well put together Sunday. And here is Livan Hernandez, who's feeling pretty sweet about the way things have gone, with his team leading 10-4 after the Mets took a 4-0 lead. Dan Wheeler, the 4th pitcher for the Mets, hits the outside corner to Hernandez. No balls and 1 strike. It'll be Hernandez, and then Macias, and then Cabrera for the Expos. On the outside corner again. So Wheeler continues to spot his fastball. And the count 0-2. Livan helped himself with an RBI single in the 5th inning. To the hole and through. So an 0-2 breaking ball to the pitcher. And he delivers his 2nd hit of the ball game.
Yeah, he can swing that bat. And when he does, he makes contact. Watch this. It's a key for Hernandez here. Way out in front. And he puts the ball in play. It didn't look pretty. And he's saying it, but he got a hit.
So here is Jose Macias. Endy Chavez was run for by Macias in the 5th inning. After Chavez had walked, Macias stayed in the game at center field and takes first pitch fastball for a strike. 0-1. Tony Clark playing behind Hernandez, who is not going anywhere. His team in front 10-4. Hernandez the pitcher. Expos have out hit the Mets 10-5. 6 errors in this game. 4 by the Mets and 2 by the Expos. And the fastball 1-2 to Macias. That's an interesting call by, I know you guys spent a lot of time talking about it. Official scorer Joe Donnelly. I'd not heard the term mechanical error in the past.
You gotta know when to say when.
We'll get back to that. Perez going way back, and a nice catch by Timo. Livan all the way down to 2nd. You want to make the connection there?
No, I'm talking about, Joe Joe Donnelly's a very nice guy, and he made a mistake.
No, I'm interested from an educational standpoint. I'd never heard that phrase applied to a scoring decision.
That's a nice play right there by Timo Perez. You know,
I get the feeling you guys have talked this out, and you're not in the mood to deal with it anymore.
No. I felt that mechanical error. You just can't coin phrases as you go. But Joe's been around baseball a long time.
Up the middle, and a base hit.
Let's go back and take a look at some brilliant plays by the left fielder, Wilkerson. He's going to hit now, but he did it with his glove back in the 5th inning. Cliff Floyd thought he had one. So did Wilkerson. Look what he did. Whoa, what a play by Wilkerson, bringing the ball back in. Was that his first time? No way. Joe McEwing had to live through it. 2002, Graham Lloyd threw the ball, and look at Wilkerson go up over the top of the wall, and a beautiful play. So Wilkerson has patented the play.
And now he bounces one to Clark. It hit the lip of the infield, but a high throw is snagged by Ray Sanchez for the second out.
Second baseman.
So Tony
3,
Clark
Jose Vidro.
Gets a good angle right there by staying behind that runner. Has a good shot at second base. Sanchez gloves the ball. Another look. Sanchez keeps the ball in the infield. Clark threw that ball high, but Sanchez gloved it.
Well, just one last thing on the mechanical error business, which makes sense. The theory is that you'll award an error to a middle infielder who doesn't cover the bag on a stolen base attempt. Official scorer will do that and then go downstairs afterwards and find out which one of you guys should have been covered.
Right, I understand that, but that play there at first base, I mean, Bell went over there, and it was just that Tony Clark didn't turn and put some mustard on the ball and throw it over the top.
That's interesting, though.
It was nice.
Different, something different.
Something different, only in New York. Official scorers in New York have been a part of the game, where most official scorers are not a part of the game. These guys, look, starting with as far back as Dick Young. What do you want to do, give a team error?
3 balls, no strikes.
Here's the play. Here's the mechanical error play. Tony Clark wanted to shuffle the ball. It's too far to shuffle the ball, but Jay Bell was over there. So who was mechanically wrong? I guess Tony Clark, because he was going to shuffle it rather than throw the ball over the top. Who would you give the error to?
Well, I thought Bell was there in time for Clark to have at least made a throw.
So did you go and tell Joe? Did you tell Joe he was wrong? He's looking up the book.
Not while that Sunday was still cold. Bounce to third. Wigginton, and the side retired. So Dan Wheeler gives up a couple of hits, but works a scoreless 7th. Time to stretch here at Shea. The Expos with a 6-run lead.
Fans, celebrate MSG's Cheering for Children Week, July 7th, 8th, and 10th with Mets Baseball on MSG Network and Fox Sports Net. Bid on unique Mets experiences and memorabilia, with all proceeds benefiting MSG Network's Cheering for Children Foundation. Announce the starting lineup at Shea, throw out the first pitch, or spend an entire game trailing Matt Loughlin. Plus, Mets autographed memorabilia, all up for bid and for a great cause, supporting after-school programs for New York City kids. Cheering for Children Week begins Monday night with the Mets and Braves on Fox Sports Net.
Tonight's fan of the game is brought to you by McDonald's. We love to see you smile. Big crowd on hand for the final game of this 3-game series.
And fireworks night, so the kids get an extra treat, not just the ball game, but also the annual fireworks display, which has been a tradition here since, I think, the year that the ownership changed the first time in 1980. I could be wrong, but I think that was the first year that they held fireworks night here. And I don't know if you remember that far back, but the Mets made a little bit of a push right around this time of year, and they had a doubleheader with a Montreal EXPOS here that was a wild one. I think if I remember right, they won the opener, and there was a brawl. Was it Gullickson, Bill Gullickson, and John Stearns, and this kind of brawl that kind of stuck in your mind for a few years. That night had been talked about in this ballpark for a long, long time, and I think it was the first of the long tradition of fireworks nights here at Shea.
And John Stearns managing in the minor leagues for the Mets this year.
Yeah, he's at Binghamton.
Yes, he
and We should check in with him for a report on young Mr. Ring, who was acquired yesterday from the Chicago, I almost said the Chicago Blackhawks, from the Chicago White Sox in the deal for Robbie Alomar. But Royce Ring is a left-handed pitcher who we understand is a little bit similar to Randy Myers, if you remember Randall Kay.
Randy Myers, hard-throwing left-hander who was a favorite here at Shea, was traded away to Cincinnati for John Franco.
Jay Bell lines one the other way. Callaway will play it on a hop. The Mets get the leadoff man on. Here are the last of the 7th. So that's the 6th hit for the Mets, but the first since Sanchez singled in the 4th inning.
By the way, we're told that Joe Donnelly said that the reason he gave mechanical error is because Jay Bell started, then stopped on his way over to cover first base. As you look at our Dreyfus numbers.
All right. Discretionary.
Now, Joe's been around the game a long time, and you got to sympathize or debate his call.
That's one, and that's two. Jay Bell with the Mets 6 runs down. Doubled up at first base on the line drive by Burnitz. So, as it turns out, 2 pitches and 2 outs.
No lost motion right there. A bullet right at Cabrera. Watch this. All one motion. Quick. That's why he froze Jay Bell. There's that line drive again. In baseball, when the ball's hit on the line, you immediately think base hit. And that's where you get your mistake. Fly ball, you immediately think tag up. So the line drive's the thing that'll get runners in trouble.
Floyd 0 for 2 with a walk. And a fastball by Livan Hernandez upstairs for a ball. Livan has always been an innings eater. You know, it doesn't matter so much how wide the disparity is on the scoreboard. Floyd fouls it away. Frank Robinson now knows that he has a pitcher. He can go deep into a game.
And productive innings. I know that, you know, for years you'd hear, well, he eats up a lot of innings. If you're eating up innings and you're non-productive, what good is it?
I agree. Frank used 5 pitchers last night, so he could really use this. Plus, he's got that sore Achilles. He doesn't want to have to go out to the mound.
Oh, he's not going out. Look at this.
Deep to right. Callaway at the wall. Side retired. So Floyd gave it a long ride, but not long enough. And as we head to the 8th, 10-4 Montreal. Ron Callaway takes a strike to start the 8th. Joe McEwing will pick up for Cliff Floyd. Floyd made the last out of the last of the 7th. So Joe McEwing will take over in left field. Dan Wheeler misses outside. 1-1 to Callaway. Scheduled to be followed by Will Cordero. And Edwards Guzman here in the 8th inning with the Expos leading 10-4.
Boy, it started off first 3 innings. You thought that the Mets were going to dominate throughout this ball game. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead in 3 innings. And the Expos batted around the 4th and the 5th and scored 10 runs.
Line to Wigginton, 1 away.
Boy, that was a rocket. Callaway facing the right-hander hit a bullet, and Wigginton gloved it. This is a time when you're at third base and it's a reaction position. You're saying, I got to have a big glove. I got to catch that ball in the webbing. You don't want to catch that ball right there in the pocket, because that'll give you a bone bruise.
So Wigginton puts it away, and now Will Cordero, who has 1 out of 3 in RBI single.
Jeez.
Ooh, Clark bobbles. And that should be, the ball had some backspin on it, but still, that's obviously an error, and that's going to be the 5th error for the Mets.
That looked like a football going out there, didn't it? You know how football bounces?
Yeah, that's a spin.
Watch this. Watch this spin. That's what you call a tricky hop. Of course, the Mets made 4 errors already, so I'm sure that Joe Donnelly will score this on error. Look at that ball. Look at that English on that ball. Look at that. He got a bad hop earlier. It almost took his head off, and that was a tricky hop, and he gets an error on it. But boy, that ball had a lot of spin on it.
So now it's Edwards Guzman. Single, double, sacrifice fly, and now a 4-6-3 double play. So they shrug off the error, and in the middle of the 8th inning at Shea, 10-4 Expos. Now, about all of it starting for Roberto Alomar in Chicago. His dad, Sandy Alomar, was a New York Met. And his dad is still looking for his first hit as a New York Met. I believe he was 0 for 13 lifetime. But when the Mets traded Sandy Alomar to the Chicago White Sox, it was right before Mrs. Alomar gave birth to Roberto. So it started in Chicago, and now he's, in a sense, really gone back home. 0-2 to Ty Wigginton, leading off here in the last of the 8th inning. Alomar 0 for 4 tonight. Pardon me, 0 for 3.
No, Carl Everett. Carl Everett was 0 for 3. Robbie Alomar was 0 for 4 with those Chicago White Sox.
Right. Alomar 0 for 4, Everett 0 for 3. All right. 1-2 pitch, and Wigginton down on strikes. Yeah, Sandy Alomar was traded in 1967, and shortly thereafter,
The catcher, number
Roberto
23.
Alomar was born in February of '68. I had help on that. You know who gave me that one? One of the all-time greats in this broadcasting business, a giant in our industry, Keith Olbermann, who was at the ballpark earlier tonight.
Keith Olbermann is outstanding in what he does, isn't he? A very nice guy. He's here at Shea Stadium quite a bit. He used to work for a trading card company and did a nice job writing those bios.
Here's Jason Phillips taking up an end. You mean that bubblegum card company?
Yes.
Hey, I didn't know he worked for them.
Yeah, not Topps. It was one, I believe, that's no longer in business. He had nothing to do with it.
The 1-0 to Phillips. Breaking ball misses, and the count 2-0 to Jason. He's had a good night. Tony Clark has had his problems in the field, but Phillips with a home run and a 2-run single, so he's driven in 3.
How about that right there?
Rip, but foul.
That swing, he's had a good swing all night.
Outstanding. And the count 2-1. John Franco getting set to work tonight. Wild swing by Phillips.
You know, it's interesting. Hernandez got Ty Wigginton out with that same type pitch, so he gives him something to foul off and then bust that ball down the dirt. Good breaking ball. Look at that. Phillips with his solo home run in the 2nd inning, his 4th of the season, now has 18 RBIs. Also picked up a base hit with the bases loaded.
Still 2-2 on Jason.
He's been playing a solid defense and aggressively playing defense. His whole game is based on aggression.
It's fun to watch too, because he's not all that comfortable yet with all the footwork and the movement around the bag, but he'll do absolutely anything as he strikes out here to make a play at first base. I mean, he's done belly flop stretches, and it's been fun to watch. Well, tonight at 10:30 on MSG Network, don't forget to watch Angles. Mike Breen will host. MSG's cameras were right inside during the NBA draft, and they have a close-up look at how Mache Lampe was able to stick around long enough for the Knicks to grab him after they took Michael Sweetney out of Georgetown. So it'll be a fun watch. 10:30 tonight on MSG. Rough night for Clark. He has struck out 3 times, and he has had some adventures in the field as well. 2 errors charged to Tony.
And this comes after a euphoric evening for Tony Clark, where he won the ball game with a base hit in the 9th inning.
Out in front, and it's 1-2.
That's one of those times where you, after you get that base hit, you struggle like you did tonight. You don't want to hear tomorrow's another day. You want to enjoy that moment from last night.
For the Mets, tomorrow is a travel day. They'll head to Cincinnati. Get their first look at what some people in Cincinnati are referring to as the new Crosley Field. No incline in left field, though. Ray Sanchez waiting on deck. And the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and Clark has the golden sombrero.
So after a night where he wins the ball game with a base hit, here he is striking out again.
This week on the Metro Soccer Report, Bob Bradley back to Chicago and Landon Donovan coming to Giant Stadium. We'll break it all down.
And we'll have a roundtable discussion with Steve, Shep, and myself about some of the big topics in the soccer world.
That's this week on the Metro Soccer Report, only on MSG.
Johnny B. Good in the background. John Franco on the mound as we get set for the 9th inning here at Shea. Fireworks night. Mets are the ones who made the early noise, building a 4-0 lead at the end of 3 innings. But then the Expos put up 5 spots in the 4th and the 5th. Jae-Young So is on the hook here. Livan Hernandez has been in all the way for Montreal. He's thrown 122 pitches. Frank Robinson may get his bullpen up here in the 9th inning and give Hernandez the rest of the night off. Brian Schneider will lead off the 9th inning. Livan due up next, but not only is Tim Drew starting to loosen up in the bullpen, but Joe Vitiello has stepped into the on-deck circle, so looks like 122 will be the pitch limit for Livan Hernandez tonight. And the first pitch by Franco, taken low for a ball, 1-0. Now it's an interesting scenario developing around John Franco. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago when the Mets were in Florida and asked him if he'd made up his mind about whether he'd like to continue to try to pitch next year. His contract's up, and obviously coming off of Tommy John surgery, making it back this year, pitching effectively in the big leagues is triumph enough. John will be 43 years of age in September, and he was non-committal. He honestly said he had not made up his mind if he even wanted to pursue it for next year.
He's worked too hard to give it up.
Well, it just presents this interesting, fun little twist, though. 2-1 here to Schneider. 2-2. Let's say the Mets do move Armando Benitez between now and July 31st, which is the non-waiver trade deadline. Maybe John gets a chance to close games.
Oh,
if in fact this is it for John, that'd be a great way for him to go out.
What a comeback.
Sure.
And I still think he'll pitch next year. He went through an awful lot of rehab. He went through major reconstructive surgery. Why would he give it up now?
Well, of course, the other side of it is, as the Mets trend younger, will they have a spot in the pitching staff, on the staff forum next year? Those are decisions that will be made certainly after this season
Look at the numbers.
is over.
422 saves.
Fouled away. And we get a scoring change now from official scorer Joe Donnelly. Thought there was so much spin on that.
I agree.
Ball hit by Will Cordero that the hit, or the error, has now become a hit. So take one error away from Clark. 5 becomes 4 in the error department.
That ball had all kinds of spin on it. Whatever happened, you know, you're talking about the new mechanical error. Whatever happened to a tough hop? Joe's had a busy night, but Joe does a good job here at Shea. Watch this play. Ball hits the ground, takes that crazy spin. It's like Wimbledon with that kick serve.
We used to call those egg balls.
You know what? I've never seen it with a baseball, but I understand what you're saying. Egg ball.
With the Pensy Pinky or the inferior Spalding?
Spalding. They're made by Spalding, the Spalding Company in Chicopee, Massachusetts, and it was founded by a former baseball player, Spalding, who played baseball.
Albert G. Spalding.
About 1890, and became
no relation to Captain Spalding.
Right. And became a pioneer, not only in baseball in this country, but he tried to take it international.
Franco's got to get to the bag. Clark's flip. Got him. Nice play. Good hustle by Franco. 1 away.
Well, they try Tony Clark again here. He feels the ball. He flips it, and Franco barehands it. Look at that. No big deal for John Franco. Barehanded the ball. Another look at John Franco covering first base.
Yeah, and you know what? He had to reach for the bag, and John hyperextended his knee slightly over the weekend at Yankee Stadium. So A, was anything but routine the way it worked out, and B, about the last thing Franco needed to do, considering that knee was bothering him enough so that the Mets held off on activating Ray Sanchez by a day. Keep Jaime Cerda up here, and then of course when they traded Alomar, Cerda stuck around. So here's Vitiello now batting for Livan Hernandez. No balls, 1 strike. Hernandez leaves after 8 innings, 122 pitches, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. Gave up 2 home runs taken deep by Burnitz and by Phillips. And Tim Drew getting set to pitch the bottom of the 9th. Low to Vitiello, 1-1. Vitiello actually left the Expos organization over the winter, signed with the Giants as a free agent in the offseason. But then in early May, the Expos got him back. And he hits this one deep down the left field line. It is gone. Joe Vitiello with his first home run. And it's now an 11-4 Montreal lead.
Center fielder, number 1, Jose Macias.
It is not his first major league home run. He homered back in August of 2000 at Philadelphia.
Put a good swing on that ball right there, and the ball stays fair and into the blue seats out there in left field. Last home run all the way back to the year 2000, is how he said.
Not that long ago. 0-1 to Macias. So 11 runs, 13 hits for the Expos. First home run they've hit tonight, and that's going to be an extra base hit by the diving Wigginton. The carom away from McEwing. And Macias in at second base.
Well, Macias gets the ball down and in, keeps it fair, right down the third base line. So an extra base hit for Macias. He's on second base, and Cabrera will be the batter.
He's had a couple of hits. Every position in the Expos batting order has at least reached base in this game. Vidro does not have a hit, nor does Callaway, but every other starter does. Well, Frank Robinson feeling a little better today than he did last night. Did you hear what he said about Sonny Kim, his pitcher who just couldn't throw a strike for a while last night? They were talking about it after the game last night, and one of the reporters said to Robinson, well, what'd you think of Kim's performance? Robinson said, you called that a performance?
Yeah, that's not good to ask Frank that.
It gets worse. 2-0 here to Cabrera. And that's a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. And they said, well, do you think and then look at here, the pitching coach wanted to come out, Randy St. Clair. Robinson said, oh no, I'm going to handle this. And he was as patient as he could be on the mound, but after the game, 2-1 pitch here to Cabrera's outside. He was asked, well, is Kim going to go down to the minor leagues? And Robinson said on the record, it was in the papers, I don't care if he goes home. How about that?
Well, you know, Frank's one of the hardest nosed players really ever to play this game. And I guess he's the same way in managing his team.
Wigginton, nice pick. High throw. And Clark came down on the bag. Well, this is just one of those nights where everything put in play makes you hold your breath.
Well, Wigginton gloves his ball, throws the ball across the infield to the 6'7" Tony Clark. He needed all 6'7" to make the play. Another look as Wigginton gets Cabrera. By the way, you know, we're talking about Frank Robinson. The reason the Orioles traded Frank Robinson when they did is because of a guy who's in this ballpark. Don Baylor. They had to make room for Don Baylor, who was tearing up the minor leagues.
Yeah, they traded Frank Robinson to the Dodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then to the Angels. I think he went from the Dodgers to the Angels in a deal that involved Bobby Valentine.
Two of the hardest sliders ever to play the game. Frank Robinson and Don Baylor. Two guys that get hit with a lot of pitches. Boy, and Frank Robinson stayed on top of home plate. And they said when you threw at him, he became more determined, so you were wasting your time.
Don just said, hit me.
Yeah, Don didn't care either.
Wilkerson shoots it over by the line. McEwing. Nice play in foul territory. So Joe McEwing with a good play, but not before the Expos add a run. Last of the ninth, 11-4 Expos.
MSG delivers New York sports talk on Talk of Our Town. The big issues, the tough topics. If it's happening in sports, we're talking about it. Talk of Our Town, presented by Sims. Today at 4 on MSG Network. This is Our Town.
So it'll be 8-9-1 for the Mets. Sanchez, Vance Wilson's out on deck to hit for Franco, and then Perez. And a fastball to Sanchez, 0-1. Breaking ball inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Tim Drew, certainly not in a save situation, just at a mop-up spot here. Drew just called up last Thursday from Edmonton. He was 3-8 as a starter there in 15 games. And he's the brother of J.D. Drew. He bobbles, recovers, and Sanchez not going real hard down the line. Thrown out, 1 away. New second baseman is Henry Mateo. And the new shortstop is Jamie Carroll as Frank Robinson makes some ninth inning changes.
Pinch hitting for the Mets, number 3, Vance Wilson.
So Vance Wilson will bat for John Franco. Mets used 5 pitchers in this game. Jae-Ung So started. Pedro Feliciano, Jaime Cerda, Dan Wheeler, and John Franco followed. In the air to center. Macias lines it up. Vance Wilson retired on the fly ball, and the Mets are down to their last out.
The center fielder, number 6.
So it'll be up to Timo Perez to keep the fireworks from going off too soon.
Well, we talked about it early in the ball game. The Mets came out of the chute in a hurry, scoring 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the fourth. And it looked like they were going to sweep their first series of the season. But the Expos batted around in the top of the 4th and the top of the 5th. And they scored another run in the 9th, and is now 11-4. And boy, oh boy, this day and age, it's tough. You get a lead, and if you have a halfway decent bullpen with a couple of arms out there, you can hold on. And if you have that one big stopper, it's over.
Perez tried to hold a swing, could not, and the count 1-1. One ball and 2 strikes now. Tim Drew delivers, and Timo keeps it going. Day off tomorrow, travel day for the Mets. They will go to Cincinnati. We'll see former Met Paul Wilson in that series. Reds going with a 4-man rotation these days.
And then the Mets come back here to Shea against the Braves and the Phillies.
Carroll up with it, and the Expos win it. 11-4, the final score tonight as the Expos salvage the final game of this 3-game series.
Tonight's game.
Cyclones baseball returns to Fox Sports Net. Catch New York's future stars today as the boys from Brooklyn swing away all summer long. The Cyclones host the Aberdeen Ironbirds tonight at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
New York sports teams. Talk. Opinions. News. Exclusives. With timely, opinionated, insightful coverage, MSG Network delivers 24/7, just like New York. MSG, the ultimate destination for New York sports fans. This is our town.